is synonymous with the NFL and ESPN, and we're set to talk a little NFL here in this segment. Welcome back to Game Points. Eric Thomas on the board, Mo Khan across from me, Stefano Micella to my right. So we get ready to talk about the two NFL games and the storylines that accompany them. San Francisco at Atlanta, Baltimore at New England, a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. So they fire Cam Cameron and they get back to exactly where they were last year. Do the Ravens. So do the Patriots, for that matter. And they're one step away from going to where they were last year as well. On the other side, the Atlanta Falcons get over the hump, and a big hump it was. As for the San Francisco 49ers, they too, just like the Ravens and Pats, are right back where they were last year. So 3 of the 4 teams back in the championship game. I'm not sure how long it's been since that's happened in the so-called parity era, but it's nice to see. Kind of harkens back to the 90s when you had some of the dominant teams, and you knew you could count on those teams when it came down to crunch time. All right, boys and girls, let's get to the two games. Now, Stefano, you've had a chance to find the latest odds. We looked at those immediately after the game on Sunday. Let's see where they are right now.
Yeah, it appears they have not changed. I mean, most of the lines for San Francisco and Atlanta have the 49ers still as a 3.5 to 4 point favorite. And in terms of Baltimore and New England, still around 8.5, 9 points in favor of New England at home.
See, I'm surprised that Atlanta is that much of a dog. I thought this game would be very close to even. And I guess it's the Kaepernick phenomenon. Falcon fan, what do you say?
Well, you talk about the Kaepernick phenomenon, and up until this point, there's still things that need to be proven from him. And going on the road, it's one thing to win at home in the playoffs. It's one thing to have it set up for you to win, and he ran all over that Green Bay defense. But now he's got a tough test in the Georgia Dome, and that's why I like the Falcons. Maybe not to win the game, and this is stepping outside of the fandom for a second, but 3.5 points for Matt Ryan and those Atlanta Falcons that are something like 25-2 at home over the last 4 or 5 years. I think you take the points in this one, and I like Atlanta, especially after winning that game last week that, quite frankly, they had no business winning, making some poor decisions down the stretch.
Well, obviously, you bring up the point of Colin Kaepernick proving it now at this juncture of the season. Of course, he did go to New England, won on the road in primetime football, albeit, though, in conditions not really conducive to football. I will take the Niners because Niners right now, just like the Baltimore Ravens, are built to win on the road regardless of where, if it's indoors, outdoors. Remember the game last time they played in the ATL in which the Niners were up, 14-0, and they somehow lost that football game to the Falcons. I do like the Niners run game, and the Falcons have to stop the run game, and they've yet to stop a mobile quarterback this year. Cam Newton torched them, as well as Russell Wilson torched them on Sunday. I do like Kaepernick, his legs, and I think that they have a little bit more of the dangerous weapons to work with. Therefore, give me the Niners to win this football game.
The Niners are just the more solid team all across the board, and I think that's really what's going to carry them into this weekend. Plus, John Abraham it appears he had re-injured his ankle on Sunday, so that's a big loss for them, especially if you're looking to contain Kaepernick. So,
well, he says that he's going to play, right? I've seen that out of Abraham, is that he will play. So, but you're right. I mean, if you don't have that mobility, you can't push off. That's not going to happen. So, in terms of my opinion on the game, kind of similar to what Mo was talking about with the running aspect. I've never been a fan of the Atlanta Falcon running attack, and I think you do need to have it to keep defenses honest. Now, hey, they had a great game last week. You can't deny that. But again, that's a team that was missing Clemens, their leading defensive lineman in terms of being in the passing game. The Niners are not the same team that got blown out by the Seahawks because of one man and one man only, and that's Justin Smith on the defensive line. You hear all the commentators talking about how he makes a difference and helps Aldon Smith on the other side. He really is that much of a difference maker to them, and as long as he's in that lineup and able to contribute, I think the 49ers have a really good chance in this game. I don't think that Michael Turner's going to do what he did last week. I don't think that the Falcons are going to rely enough on Jacquez Rodgers in the running game, which you and I, Eric, have talked about on the air here. I like him, and I think he should be used more, but I don't think they're going that route, and I believe that the Niners will win this game. In terms of that spread, I agree with Eric as well. I think it's too much, and I think it's Niners by a field goal.
Remember, it's too early, though. It's only Tuesday night, and the spread will definitely fluctuate from here until Sunday morning when we get close to the game time.
And here's my question, because this was what I thought about last week leading up to the game. Has any rookie quarterback, ever won 2 road games in the playoffs in a row. I don't think that had ever happened before.
Almost happened last week.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying about Colin Kaepernick. I know it's a different set of circumstances. He played at home last week, but this is only a second-year guy with, 12, 13 starts under his belt?
Yep.
It's a lot to ask.
Well, Flacco did it. I think he won one road game in his rookie season, did he not? Mo?
Baltimore won 2 road games. They went to Miami and beat them 27-9, and then went to Tennessee, beat them 13-10 when Tennessee was the 1 seed, eventually losing to Pittsburgh in the AFC title game 23-14.
I'm trying to recall what happened in Big Ben's rookie year. I know they went 15-1, if I'm not mistaken.
They had home
and
field.
They lost, so they had home field. That's right.
Mark Sanchez as well won 2 road playoff games in his rookie year.
Yeah, Roethlisberger barely beat the Jets and then got smoked by the Pats in the title
Quite the
game.
era we live in.
Yeah,
huh?
so I was way off. I have a short-term memory.
If Mark Sanchez could do it, Colin Kaepernick could do it.
Yes, we can.
All right, it's Game Points here on TSN 690. So, game number 2.
We have the New England Patriots and Baltimore Ravens rematch of last year's AFC Championship, which of course was that thriller 23-20. And now the Patriots an 8.5-point favorite at home after dominating the Texans.
You know, Mo and I talked a little bit about this off air, and I understand what Mo was saying. I'll let him get to his point of view on this. I like the Ravens to actually win this game outright. I normally wouldn't. I would think they're spent on it because of all the emotional energy that was expended last week. However, this is also personal for them because they lost last year on this stage so agonizingly close. And for that reason, I'm going to take the Ravens. I think that they will fight through the exhaustion and the travel, and I think that they will come out on top here. New England hasn't been tested in a sort of a this is personal type of manner in a while. Houston wasn't up to the task last week. I think Baltimore will be. I'll take the points easily.
You look at the last 2 trips for Baltimore at Gillette Stadium, they had definitely altered the spread. They beat the Patriots back in 2009 Wild Card Weekend 33-14. They barely lose on a missed field goal last year.
A lot of players in that team.
Exactly. And as we said before about Jim Harbaugh's team, John Harbaugh's team is built to play in any conditions, whether it's in Pittsburgh, New England, wherever they go. They are a strong road team. As I said last week about them going to Denver, they don't care if they're playing up in the Mile High. They will play well. They have the most road wins under Joe Flacco since 2008. I do like the Ravens, though, but the intriguing part of this scenario is the first 5 to 10 minutes. How will they react physically and mentally? Have they spent all their emotions and their strength in last weekend's win over Denver, or will they rebound and have a stronger game than last week to beat the Patriots?
The key here for this game is that Joe Flacco has to keep getting that deep ball working, and obviously he used it very well against the Denver Broncos, and he'll have to do the same thing with Torrey Smith in this game. They're going to have to make some really deep plays down the field, and they're going to have to put pressure on the Patriots offense early and not let them get ahead.
I like how you didn't say Jacoby Jones to the Bronco fan here in the studio.
Well, I have a little bit of sympathy.
Eric?
Surprised that we actually haven't heard anything about a Harbaugh brother Super Bowl yet, but I'm sure we're going to come up to it in the next couple of days, and of course, if these two teams end up winning. So I will take Baltimore. I like them to win this game. The fact that Gronk is once again injured, I think that definitely hurts the Patriots. And also, like you guys talked about, not really challenged, and it is very difficult to get back to the Super Bowl, let alone win it. I know they didn't win it last year, but even to get back the year after you win is very difficult to do, so I like the Ravens in this one.
All right, there you go. And of course, you can hear both games here on TSN 690 this coming weekend. Kickoff is at 3 o'clock for the first game. However, coverage begins right here on these airwaves at 2 o'clock. So looking forward to that.